Welcome. How are you?
Oh, well, I always love it when there's a day where you're like, never seen that before.
You mean every
day? Every
Yes.
day. I get up every day and I'm like, oh, what is it we're going to see today? If this was just a TV show, that we were all watching, it would be great, wouldn't it?
I know it wouldn't. It could be like, oh, come on, this isn't real.
That's true.
This is so
That's true.
fake.
They never do
They
that.
would never do that. That would never happen.
Right. Okay. So I just want to read. I just want to read a filing that was filed yesterday in the Superior Court of the State of Delaware, demanding a jury trial. Here's the complaint. In March 2024, Candace Owens, a right-wing podcaster, told the world she would, quote, stake her entire professional reputation on the fact that Brigitte Macron, the First Lady of France, is in fact a man.
That's the first
That's
sentence.
the first line. I love this. Since then, Owens has used this false statement to promote her independent platform, gain notoriety, and make money. Owens disregarded all credible evidence disproving her claim in favor of platforming known conspiracy theorists and proven defamers. And rather than engage with the president and Mrs. Macron attempts to set the record straight, Owens mocked them and used them as additional fodder for her frenzied fan base. But she didn't stop there. Retaliating against the Macrons for the audacity of sending her a retraction demand, Owens helmed an 8-part podcast series entitled Becoming Bridgette, the series. Accompanying X-posts throughout the series, Owens and her entities endorsed, repeated, and published a series of verifiably false and devastating lies about the Macron on which this complaint is based. These are outlandish, defamatory, and far-fetched fictions, included that Mrs. Macron was born a man, stole another person's identity, and transitioned to become Bridgette. Also, that Mrs. Macron and President Macron are blood relatives committing incest. That President Macron was chosen to be the president of France as part of a CIA-operated MK Ultra program or similar mind control program. And Mrs. Macron and President Macron are committing forgery, fraud, and abuses of power to conceal these secrets. This was filed by the Macrons against Candace Owens in the state of Delaware, which I just have to say, I love this story. I love this story. I love this story because it just allows me to go, and you thought your day was insane. Here's the president of France responding to Candace Owens, thinking you're going to get her to shut up. You've just made this a global story for a very long time now. And you're not going to win, President of France, because we have something called the First Amendment. You are a public figure. You are a public politician, and your wife is a public figure. You could say pretty much whatever you want, and you're not going to be able to stop her from having her opinion.
Is this just a complete misunderstanding of the way the law works in the United States? Is that what this is?
I don't know. It had to have had American lawyers on it. So,
yeah, right. It was fine. I mean, well, American lawyers, though, they'll take.
Hey,
give me a bunch of money from the president of France. Sure, we'll file that.
You're right. Okay.
But I mean, it's really super hard to come up with a libel conviction, a defamatory conviction of a president, a public figure. Doesn't even live in the United States. Like, I can't even think of how many ways this would be difficult to achieve a victory on, right?
So they say, and this is maybe where they have a chance. They say Owens published the series and related X-posts with reckless disregard for the truth. That's the key.
That's the key standard.
That's
right?
the key. Reckless disregard for the truth. So if she has been saying, other people have brought this up, and the the Macrons have won defamation claims in court, for the same thing. So they've won this
here.
No, in France.
Okay,
in France. Mm-hmm. So they've won this. If she's not saying, "Here's the other side," and they've won this. However, let me show you this. As long as she is balancing it to some degree, so she's not just saying, "And everybody knows it," and nobody's ever stood up against it. I mean, I don't know.
I haven't listened to the podcast.
I haven't listened to the podcast.
I would doubt that she's. I would think she probably is saying stuff like that. Everybody knows it, and nobody doubts it.
She's pretty smart, but anyway.
But yeah, I don't.
Yeah. Anyway, here's what it is. This is just so fun that the president of France has to file this. Now, let me give you my speculation. This is not proof of anything. This is just common sense observation. Do you remember when Macron was at the top of the stairs of the airplane and she just reached out and just punched him in the face? Okay, and he was like, "Hey, we're just joking around." No, you weren't. At least she wasn't. You might have been. She wasn't. Okay. I think this was filed because she was like, "You're not going to have any great loving with me, young man, unless you stop this from happening in America." Boom, and hits him in the face. I think this is a guy like, my wife is making me file this.
Complete and total speculation on your part also seems completely plausible.
Yeah. Right? I mean, I'm not saying that that's what it is, and I don't care if they're going to sue. Please sue me. Please sue me. But it's just my speculation that that's probably what happened. Because she is, well, first of all, and then let me say this to Candace. Candace, why do you even have to go there? And I know you think it's the truth or whatever, but listen. Is it not bad enough that this woman is the Jeffrey Epstein of France? I mean, yes, she wasn't grooming thousands of people, but she groomed one. You know what I mean? It's like...
Then this is pretty much known, right? This is not there's no speculation on this.
No, there's no speculation.
I don't know. I don't remember
this
the story.
This story is horrible. Okay, she's a teacher. He's at some boarding school. And he falls in love with her, and she falls in love with him. Now, if I'm not mistaken, he's 15 and she's like 40. 15 and she's 40.
It's France, though. You can't. There's no laws there.
No, wait. Even the open-minded French were like, the mom and dad pull him out of, once they find out, because they thought Bridgette was somebody his age that he was dating. Then they find out that's your 40-year-old teacher at the school, and you're like having sex, and so they immediately pull him out. And Bridgette says, "You are not going to stop me from loving your son. You can't get rid of me. We love each other." And it's true. Now he goes back. After he moves out of the parents' house, or now he's 18, he goes and seeks her out. He goes and seeks her out for some of that loving that he's still getting a piece of. Anyway,
very disconcerting,
right? So and remember, this disgusted the French.
Which is hard to do.
We really should note. Didn't they welcome Roman Polanski like, "We got to give you some awards"? I mean, they don't have.
There's
morals
no standards.
Is not something they're good at. You know what I mean? And when the French are like, "Okay, that sexually is just too far," that's crazy.
Yeah, the whole situation's very strange. One other part of this that I find very interesting is, I don't know, I feel like your idea that you're going to win a lawsuit in the United States of America against a public commenter commenting on a foreign president, I mean, it just seems incomprehensible to think you're going to win that case. But what, I don't even think it's about that. what it seems to be about after looking at the documents is they want on record their best case that she's a woman.
Well, listen to this. Listen to this. Parties and relevant non-parties. This is in the complaint, okay? 8. Plaintiff Emmanuel Macron is a French citizen. President Macron has been the president of France since 2017. Prior to being elected, President Macron served as the Minister of Economics, Industry, and Digital Affairs and Deputy Secretary General to the president. President Macron is married to Brigitte Macron in 2007. 9. Plaintiff Brigitte Macron is a French citizen, the spouse of the current president of France, and a woman. Okay. They didn't say he's a man.
No.
And a woman. Could you put that in the document? She's a woman. She's a woman. Oh, my gosh.
But it goes through. It shows photos of her as a child. It shows birth announcements of like other relatives that say, and he has a sister named Brigitte or whatever.
Yeah.
They go back and document every step of this, every piece of evidence. They show the announcements from the childhood. They've red circles around photos. It's insane the detail they went to try to prove this, which is just comical.
It's just so much fun. It's just so much fun because it's happening to a politician who I don't care about. Okay. I don't care. You burn France to the ground. Burn France to the ground. I think it's a mistake, but burn France to the ground. You know what I mean? They're doing a good job of it.
Nice areas of it.
Yeah. I mean, I have nothing against. Well, I can't say that categorically, but generally speaking, I have nothing wrong with France. I have no axe to grind with France. They were helpful once, 250 years ago.
That's true.
So I have nothing to say bad about France, but. Please, this is hysterical. Hysterical. I mean, but it's happening here too. Michelle Obama. I mean, what is it about us that we're like, Macron married to a man, Barry married to a man?
It is an interesting thing that we do,
right?
As a society.
I've never seen that before. 2 presidents in the world now. The speculation, they're married to a man.
Well, it draws some attention to the insinuation of this lawsuit, which is to say that if she were a man that had transitioned to be a woman, it would be so bad, right? Like it's like insinuating that this is a bad thing. But I was told by all of these people that it was wonderful if you were to transition from a man to a woman. It's the greatest thing of all time. It's just celebrating who you are and your true identity.
That is the thing that I think proves my point that he's getting smacked in the face every day. Tell people I'm not a man.
Because in reality, she does see it as an insult.
Right.
They're not allowed to admit that.
Right. And it's no big deal. What difference does it make?
Yeah. Who cares?
Yeah.
Right? Like, I mean, honestly, like, we have all sorts of important conversations about whether children should be having surgeries. I do not care at all if it was an actual dude at one point. Right. Don't care. Don't care.
And let me tell you something. If you were a man and you admitted it, we'd all be forced to say you were beautiful.
Right.
You'd solve that problem. Right now, you're just an ugly old hag. Is that wrong to say?
Wow, I just saw a new lawsuit was just filed in Delaware.
A mannish ugly old hag.
Whatever, right? But like
that was a groomer. I mean, think of it. Think of poor President Macron. He's like, you're not gonna get a slice of my pie tonight. He should be saying, oh, "Thank God, Candace Owens. Thank God. I got a way out."
He might be the one leaking these rumors at this point.
Oh my gosh, he is.
But wait, I want to know:
what
is it an insult? The left has told us it is a wonderful thing. You're finding your true identity. Is it an insult to call someone who is a woman, born a woman, and is still a woman? Is it an insult to call them a man? You keep telling us it's not. You keep telling us it's bad to notice it. You keep telling us it's bad for us to say they were a man at one point. Why would there be any basis in their world for a lawsuit claiming that someone got it wrong? It's a wonderful gift.
Unless you're an ugly, mannish 70-year-old hag that just can't handle the insults.
They're going to file a lawsuit against you in Delaware with all the pictures that prove she's not ugly. And look, AI exists, so.
I was going to say, go ahead. All right, let me tell you about the Byrna launcher. Have you ever had that feeling walking up your car, crossing the parking lot, answering the doorbell at night, that feeling something's off? You don't know exactly what's off, but you wish you had some options right now. The Byrna launcher is not a firearm, but it is a form of protection. It fires non-lethal pepper projectiles at 300 feet per second, fast enough to disable an attacker without taking a life. No bullets, no background checks, no permits required, and it's legal in all 50 states. I have to tell you, and I mean this sincerely, this product is so good, and it would solve our school shooting problems. It would solve it, because you could have this with teachers, could carry this. I don't want a gun because I think it's not a weapon of war. This is just stopping somebody without killing them. It's just putting them on the ground and the shooting stops. What is wrong with people? Oh, I remember. They don't actually want to solve the problem. Byrna, BYRNA.com. If you're in a school district, you should absolutely bring this up and say, I want Byrna launchers. And you should get a bunch of parents, put them in your schools. You can find the demonstrations at select Sportsman's Warehouse stores, Byrna retail stores, and authorized premier dealers. It's Byrna, BYRNA.com. Go there now, Byrna.com. 10 seconds, and back with more. So here's an interesting article today from The Federalist about the Coldplay thing, because I know Stu almost boycotted the show. I think it was on Monday. He came back and he was like, more Coldplay talk. So there's this great story in The Federalist. The Coldplay incident didn't fit certain mold of story the left likes to tell, which is why everyone on the internet could agree. When the Coldplay concert busted two cheating spouses, the internet united under one unexpected theme. And what is that theme? What was the theme? I think this person just nailed it. What was the theme? What did we all unite on?
I guess don't, commit adultery and,
Right. Which leads you to say marriage is sacred. The sanctity of marriage, the sanctity of vows. Okay, everything that the left is saying they're not for, even the left is actually for that. You asked me on Monday, what is this really about? And I gave an answer, but I think this is actually more of a correct answer.
I thought you were going to say that you shouldn't go to Coldplay concerts.
Right, especially with a dude that's dressed as a woman, like Macron.
This is Glenn Beck.
Big Mike. All right, let me tell you about Cozy Earth. Never trust a man who doesn't care about comfortable sleep. It's been my motto. Well, one of my mottos anyway. Yes, you have your tough guy types, the real cowboys. They have a fine line of living life at 70%, half charged, always groggy, always irritable, never sharp. You know why? They're cowboys. They live out... They're sleeping on cactus, okay? You can tell, look at their bedroom. It's a mess. Scratchy sheets, lumpy pillows, if they're actually sleeping on a bed. I like to be comfortable. I'm not a cowboy who sleeps on cactus. I don't like it. The people who do care, they upgrade. They go for the best because they know life feels different when you're rested. You want to be rested? This is the Mercedes of bedding, ultra soft, temperature regulating, luxurious, crafted from ultra soft fabric. These sheets actually breathe with you, keeping you cool at night and ridiculously comfortable. The softest sheets ever from Oprah. Well, why didn't I say that in the beginning? Oprah loves them, then I must have a pair. Upgrade your summer. Go to CozyEarth.com. Use the promo code BECK for up to 40% off their best-selling temperature-regulating sheets. It's CozyEarth.com. Promo code BECK.
Head over to glennbeck.com. Get the free email newsletter. It's every story we talk about every day. glennbeck.com.
Hello, America. Welcome to it. It's Thursday. Got a great program coming up for you. Not today, but one of these days it'll be a great program. We're working on it. Today, just suffer through it with us. There's a couple of things. You know, the Macron thing, you know, I think Stu has a really good point on why is this such a bad thing to say that she's a man? Because it's totally fine if you're a man or a woman. I guess maybe it's just because.
To be clear, that's not my point. I'm just saying.
No. But I mean, it was one of your, one of your points, right, and not one of your observations.
Right. It's in their world.
Yeah, in their world.
That should be not. This shouldn't be an insult at all. It should be wonderful.
Yeah. And yet somehow or another, it's really not. Everything that the left is doing, for instance, we were just talking about what was the story I did right after that, Sarah? It was what? I can't hear you.
Coldplay?
Oh yeah, Coldplay. The other was the marriage.
Marriage is what brings us together today.
They all say marriage is not that important, yada yada yada, but they don't mean that either. Look at the Coldplay thing. So the reason why, and you know they don't believe it, they know they're not right on this because they force everyone to just agree or shut up. If you don't agree, don't say it out loud or they'll come and get you, okay? So you know that, because when you believe something, do you want to force everybody to shut up? No, because you know it's true. And you'll fight to the death that it's true, and it's just the way it is. I'm not going to force you to shut up about, Macron is a beautiful woman. No, she's not. She may be a woman, but she's definitely not beautiful. Now Big Mike, that's definitely a man. But, you don't. Why force people into it? It makes no difference. Why say marriage is it doesn't matter if it's between a man and a woman, and it's not sacred. It's not and then everybody, when they see that Coldplay thing, they're immediately going, wow, that's bad. Everybody, universally, everybody goes, that's bad. You're told to shut up and sit down if you say marriage is sacred. Shut up and sit down. They don't believe it themselves. Otherwise, why would you have to have the goon squad come out against anybody who is saying anything different or who won't toe the line? It's really an amazing thing. And we're starting to see all of their little tricks, all of the things that they've done. This Tulsi Gabbard thing. First of all, they're saying, well, none of this is new news. No, you're right. Most of it is not new news. We had it. However, it had been denied because we didn't have all of the evidence of it. So it was a conspiracy theory. Now it's not a conspiracy theory. Now it's conspiracy fact. And they're saying now, where they used to deny it, now they're just saying, it's old news. Everybody knew that. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. What?
Where's the middle part of that story?
Correct.
We never get to the middle part.
Never.
We always get to, it's not real and it's old. Yeah. Where's the part where it's real and it matters? We never get there.
Never get there. And the reason why, even if this was all known, what's being released now, and I showed it last night on TV, and if you missed it, you can find it on Blaze, or you can find it at my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Glenn Beck. What was released yesterday and last week is not just about what Barack Obama did on, I think it was December 9th, okay? It's the entire grand conspiracy. It's showing the pattern. It's showing, oh my gosh, these people did this, and then, forget it, that might be old news. And this one might be old news. And this one might be old news. And this one, but what's not old news is, oh my gosh, look, they all line up to be a grand conspiracy. And that's the point of all of the stuff that Tulsi is doing. It never stopped. It started back then, and they got away with it, and they kept doubling down on it and kept using the same people and the same tactics over and over and over again. So what's new is not necessarily all the little train stops. What's new is it's on the same train track. It's one starting place and one destination on the same track. There's no switching of trains or anything. It's the same track. So that shows that it's consistent conspiracy to collapse or to discredit Donald Trump and collapse his presidency. And they're still trying to do it. And the other thing that is in this from yesterday that I didn't see a lot of people talking about was Hillary Clinton's health. It talked about because somebody hacked into the DNC records, which they had, what was the name of it? The private organization that looked at the DNC hacking. It wasn't investigated by the FBI. Why wouldn't you have had the FBI look into who attacked the DNC servers? Especially if you're on the left. Why wouldn't you have you control the FBI at that time? It's all their people. Why wouldn't you have them look into it? Why did you have a private CrowdStrike? Why did you have CrowdStrike look into that? And then when they said, oh, there's nothing there, we can't really figure out, why didn't you call in the FBI then? The FBI never looked into that. Why? That is a huge breach, right?
Yeah.
So why wouldn't you?
Especially because coming from a foreign adversary.
Correct.
You think they'd be very interested in such things, yeah.
So what we find out is now yesterday, we find out that in the hack, what Russia knew because of the hack is that the DNC members at the top level were concerned about Hillary's health, which again is another thing that everybody denied. Do you remember? Can you play Cut 15? This is Hillary Clinton on the campaign trail, and she is walking to her van. Remember this? So the van pulls up, big black van. She was speaking. I think this was down at the 9/11 thing.
I mean, she looks like a corpse.
She's being held up. She's being held up there. Look at that.
Look, it legitimately looks like Weekend at Bernie's.
Yep, it does. They let go of her. She goes down to the ground. Everybody is covering it up. There's something wrong there.
She's leaning like a board against a concrete pillar.
Yeah. And there's clearly something wrong. And what did they say? You know what?
That's worse than I remember.
It was much worse than I remember. There's nothing wrong with her. There's nothing wrong with her. She was just hot. Well, really?
I mean, it could be.
Could be.
It doesn't look like it.
Could be.
But also, that's something to note. That's not a minor thing.
Correct.
It's a big deal.
So here's Tulsi on what the Russians were saying about her health that we found out yesterday. Cut 14.
The report goes into great detail about the information that Russia and Putin had on Hillary Clinton, which included possible criminal acts like secret meetings with multiple named U.S. religious organizations in which State Department officials offered, in exchange for supporting Secretary Clinton's campaign for the presidency, significant increases in financing from the State Department. They also had documents that showed the patronage of the State Department to State Department employees who would go and support Hillary Clinton's presidential campaign. Wow. There were high-level DNC emails that detailed evidence of Hillary's, quote, psycho-emotional problems, uncontrolled fits of anger, aggression, and cheerfulness, and that then Secretary Clinton was allegedly on a daily regimen of heavy tranquilizers. Then CIA Director Brennan and the intelligence community mischaracterized intelligence and relied on dubious substandard sources to create a contrived false narrative that Putin developed a quote-unquote clear preference for Trump.
Got it. So do you hear what happened here? they had reliable sources from foreign intel from Russia that the Russian intelligence agency had that information. Okay? Extraordinarily dangerous. Everything they said was happening with Donald Trump. They had that in a locked, verifiable source. They disregarded that and went to the Christopher Steele files, which wasn't locked, which had been discredited by the FBI, and said, no, look what they have on Donald Trump. Then they said there's nothing wrong with her health. The Russians felt there was something wrong with her health. Whether there was or not, I don't know. But again, hide the health. Hide the health. And what did they do? They gave it to somebody who has worse health. And you know why, I think? Because Hillary wouldn't have been just a meat puppet. Joe Biden was a meat puppet. He was a puppet to, I now believe, Barack Obama. I believe that Joe Biden, the third term of Barack Obama, was Joe Biden. And all the things that Barack Obama had to do, that he had to compromise on to be able to keep his image and to keep his poll numbers up, he didn't care. If Joe Biden, he would just, no, Joe, this is good. And then not even tell him. I'm convinced towards the end, he didn't even know what he was signing, what he was doing. And they don't mind. They didn't care because he was going to be dead, probably in office, and then they'll replace him with another meat sock in Kamala Harris. It's true.
A meat sock?
That's what they were, meat socks. And Hillary Clinton wouldn't have done that. She would have run her own show. She wouldn't have been run by Barack Obama and Susan Rice. Which Barack Obama and Susan Rice, I did the chalkboard last night. And Stu, the people that were in that meeting where Barack Obama said, okay, this is what I want. The people that were in that meeting, it's the who's who of every scandal that we have seen perpetrated on the American people and on the right and Donald Trump since 2008. It's the who's who. The only one missing really is Anita Dunn. I mean,
and she was very much seen as an insider in the Biden cover up.
Right.
So she was very active, just maybe not in this particular realm.
But it's the same. Remember when we were, uncovering the progressive movement at the very beginning, and we're like, wait a minute, George Soros is everywhere. All these people are the same. Bill Ayers, he's everywhere. What is Cass Sunstein's wife's name?
Powers.
Yeah, Samantha Powers.
Yeah.
She's everywhere. And we realize it's a very small group. They just have a lot of power. That's who was in that room. All these people, with the exception of a few, all these people that have been at the basis of everything. I think you saw the December 9th is the who's who of the scandals. It's the who's who of the deep state. And if you don't go and round these people up, or at least get them out and discredit them and get them out and away from government, you're never going to change anything. Because these guys, they just leave office and then they just come back and they have their roots and they're just doing it from the behind the scenes. Clapper hasn't stopped. Brennan hasn't stopped. They're still doing it. They're now running the press op. And it kills me, the press. Let me take a quick break and come back. I want to show you something that the press is now doing that shows they never learn. Never. Back in just a minute. First, let me tell you about LifeLock. Every good heist movie starts the same way. A crew of professionals, complicated plan, and a target with somebody who never sees it coming. I have some bad news. In this version, you're not the master thief. You're the one being robbed. Some guy sitting around in a dark basement halfway around the world just scored your Social Security number, and his buddies are in charge of buying gift cards with your credit. Well, another one's filling out a loan application in your name, and you're stuck wondering why your bank account suddenly looks like a ghost town. It's a high-tech job. No explosions needed, just a couple of keystrokes. And you know what? Soon, it is not even going to be people. It is going to be bots that are doing all of this. This is why you need LifeLock. Their identity monitoring tech spots threats that you might miss on your own. And if your identity does get stolen, they've got a U.S.-based restoration team that goes to work cleaning up the mess. So protect yourself with LifeLock. Join now, save up to 40% off your first year with the promo code BECK. 1-800-LifeLock, 1-800-LifeLock, promo code BECK, or head to lifelock.com and use the promo code BECK. 1-800-LifeLock or lifelock.com, promo code BECK. Save 40% now.
Glenn Beck.
Do you ever open your mailbox during tax season and spot a mortgage interest form for a loan that you never took? That is the sort of gut punch that people are feeling across the country because they're learning their title has been stolen. In today's world, criminals do not need crowbars. They need a keyboard, and they can copy your signature with AI. They can paste it on a bogus notary stamp and file the deed at a county office. And then the filing fees, it's like a streaming subscription cost. It's not very much. And then you have a control of a property. Nobody calls, nobody checks. Your title shifts to a stranger while you're binge watching reruns. The crooks move fast. They suck every cent of equity from your house. They take off and they leave you to tangle with banks and lawyers and a credit score in free fall. By the time the IRS letter lands, the damage is already deep. And here's the fix. You need Home Title Lock. Home Title Lock. They're great. They give you a title history report so you can see if anyone's already messed with your title. They've got $1 million triple lock protection that kicks in, around-the-clock monitoring, instant alerts. They've got all the stuff that you need. Anything that comes up, you're going to know about it right away. AI's out there. We've been covering it like crazy. It's changing the world, but you don't have to let it change the name on your home title. Go to HomeTitleLock.com. Protect yourself. Protect yourself before it's too late. It's HomeTitleLock.com. The promo code is Blaze. HomeTitleLock.com. Promo code Blaze.
Okay, let me show you now. What we learned yesterday in the files that were released by Tulsi Gabbard is that Brennan, Clapper, all these people have been lying forever. Okay, they were part of it. They were lying forever, and you've known that, and so has the press. And we said they never ever apologized. They never said, "My gosh." And I've said over and over again, if I was listening to them and they had lied to me like this, I would be so pissed. I would burn them. Okay. But they're not. Listen to this. This is CNN's national affair correspondent yesterday on the Tulsi Gabbard revelation. Listen.
We have no idea. I mean, this is hardly information that we should even be repeating. Never mind that it's some years after the fact, 8 years more than that after the fact, but also just to look at the source. But look, this is the what this White House wants to talk about, and I'm not sure that we should spend that much more time on it, frankly.
All right. So this is hardly information we should be repeating. Let me show you. They don't learn. Pull up the full screen from the tweet. Pull it up full. I can't read it like that. Can you just pull it full? Yeah. We don't want to waste our time on stories that are not really stories. We don't want to waste the listeners' and readers' time on stories that are just pure distractions. NPR regarding Hunter Biden's laptop. Now, who told them that? Brennan, Clapper. Who told them this now? Brennan, Clapper. It's the same people over and over. That's why this is new information, because it's a tying together, officially tying it all together and saying, look, this is not a conspiracy. This is a grand conspiracy fact, not theory.
This is Glenn Beck.